Welcome to another presentation at the East Trade Wins, a chapter of the World Referral Network, hosted by Bernie Franzgrote and Wayne Pratt. The presentation today is titled From Axes to Chainsaws, Leveraging Large Language Models. Our guest is Roy Vella from Next CoLabs. Roy is a global business development executive CEO, CRO, and Stanford Juris Doctor and an MBA, with proven global execution and problem-solving skills, delivering high-growth, mission-critical solutions. Known as a solid revenue leader, serial innovator and growth driver, the one to get it done by creating and amplifying the go-to-market efforts of impactful companies. Building on a passion for scale at the convergence of digital and physical activities, particularly in artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep tech, fintech, and Internet of Things.
Bernie and Wayne I met with a while back, and they asked me to come in and talk to you about what we're doing at Next CoLabs and about AI in general. And so I'm just going to riff on that. I'm going to assume a low level of expertise, even though I know we have folks like Tom and others who are in the AI space. Brief, Next CoLabs is solving the 2023 problem, right? Everybody got the memo. Guy with AI is going to outpace the guy without AI. And that left a lot of mid-market companies going, I don't like the sound of that. Like, we're not using AI. So how do we fix that? A CoLab is a methodology. It's an approach, a practice to take remote humans, local humans, and AI and collaborate, as it alludes to, but it's more about the second part. It's more about the lab. It's a place of experimentation and iteration and practice. I tell people I can teach you how to play football and you can stay up in the stands, but if you come out here on the field, it's much more effective. Are we consultants? Yeah, but we're more like coaches. I'm not going to give you a deck to read and digest and understand. And mostly because it's counterintuitive, but it doesn't need a lesson, right? It's not Adobe Photoshop. I got to teach you vector graphics and a menu system and how everything works. It's more about interaction. And I'll tell you, AI has two main problems at the moment. First, the UX problem, horrible UX. They gave people an empty text box and they forgot decades of query response training. So the main critique of 2023 was I asked it a question and it gave me the wrong answer. And I'm like, okay, that's a fundamental misunderstanding of what the tool does. And then second, a naming problem. We landed on the wrong A and we landed on the wrong. Artificial sounds fake, not real, insubstantial, and intelligence implies thoughtfulness and correctness. It's neither of those. It's really augmented imagination at the moment. LLMs expand the possibility set. And I should have prefaced, actually, there's two different AIs that people use the term interchangeably. There's real AI, which has been going for 50, 60 years. It is data science, natural language processing, machine learning. It is big data, scale processing, and we finally have the power to extract the signal from the noise. Then there's LLMs, which is what most people mean by AI at the moment. Large language models are amazing. If you haven't read Co-Intelligence by Ethan Mollick, I highly recommend it. I'll drop the link in the chat later, but he's a Wharton Business School professor who's practical tactical. The subtitle of Co-Intelligence is Living and Working with AI. And if AI gets no better than it is today, it's unbelievable. It's an amazing tool to do what we say is two-pronged. Augmentation at the top, making you more effective, productive, prolific, and automation at the bottom. We already have a word for it. Call it busy work. In the future, we're going to give the busy work to the machine and the human work to the humans. Frankly, we say this is very much a humanizing moment, that we're going to offload the busy work. And busy work, we all know what it is, doesn't take the frontal lobe, tedious, repeated, repetitive, dull. We're going to give that to the machine to do because now we can. And I'm going to spend more time on the creative and augmented work at the top. In terms of LLMs and extracting the value there, the metaphor I use to explain it to people is, look, we've been chopping wood with axes for forever. And now I hand people a chainsaw and they swing it at the tree. And they're like, this is a bad axe. And I'm like, agreed. It is a bad axe. Let's agree not to swing it. And let me show you how to turn it on. Once they do, they never go back. You're like, I'm not chopping wood with an axe anymore. This is incredible. And I tell folks, if you really want to understand the power of LLMs, it's 3 simple steps. Step 1, do what you do the normal way. A pitch deck, a marketing plan, an email campaign, whatever it is you do with words and images, do it the normal way to just level set. It takes me about this much time and effort to do it. Step 2, open up any of the bots. Doesn't really matter at this point. They're all asymptotically going to the same place. Use Gemini, Claude, ChatGPT. It doesn't really matter. Put the problem in as you see it. A few sentences, a few paragraphs. Hit enter and see what happens. And frankly, most people will be impressed by that. But step 3 is the vital step that, in my experience, most people aren't doing. First, tell the bot who you are. Here's my background. Here's my education. Here's my role at the moment. Here's our company websites and PDFs about us. Here's a book that our founder wrote. Here's some competitors that do similar things to what we do. Here's who you are. You're my client in this market with this many employees facing these challenges, trying to achieve these objectives with as much context as you can. Then put the problem in and hit enter. The difference is walking, taking a bike, taking a car. Taking a bike felt pretty cool when you were walking, but once you're in a car, you'll never go back. And without context, the AI is going to treat you as if you're the mean, and it's going to act at the mean. It's 2 folks with an IQ of 100 interacting. And as a result, not so impressive. And I can't tell you how many people I run into who said, oh yeah, we tried it. It wasn't very good. I understand what they mean by that. They provided no context. They asked a fact-based question and it gave the wrong answer. It's not a database. It doesn't have cut and paste, by the way. Cannot. In fact, you can prove it to yourself. Open up 3 chats in the same bot. So in ChatGPT, 3 different chats, ask exactly the same question. You'll get 3 different answers. It doesn't know how to cut and paste and repeat. It is a weighted token model. There's only one exception to that rule that I just said. If you ask it something like, finish this sentence 77 years ago, I guarantee all the models will finish the sentence correctly. Why? That sentence only ends one way, and it's been repeated ad nauseum. Did it go and find Lincoln's speech and cut and paste the first sentence out for you? No, it does not have that ability. It didn't search for Lincoln's speech. It didn't cut and paste anything. It's just that those words are so heavily weighted, there's only one outcome. Yeah, so what we do is put AI into practice, get people to understand how to do it. By the way, once they do it once, you would assume, oh, so the next problem, they'll do it again. No, they don't. Like I tell people, it's the difference between giving you a tour of the gym and being your trainer. You can give people a tour of the gym, but they're not going to come in again. Or if they come in again, they're not going to know what to do. So it takes some time and effort. A CoLab, we use Miro as a substrate. It's an infinite canvas, and we help people solve problems better, quicker, faster. And our target market is squarely the mid-market, right? They've got enough scale. They probably have thousands of employees, tens of millions in revenue. They have enough scale that it matters. They have a sufficient number of people who use keyboards and screens all day. And at the end of the day, if you're using keyboards and screens all day, you should be using AI because the lift, the leverage is ridiculous. It's off the charts. I will leave you with one last thought. I think we're 3 to 5 years out, max, from each of us having a personal AI that sees what we see, hears what we hear, reads what we read. And I'll be able to say, hey, Joe, because that's what I name my AI. Who's that French guy I talked to late last year? We talked about his daughter. He brought up that book. Joe will say, yes, August 6th, you spoke to Pierre. He's actually Belgian, not French, but the book he recommended was this. Would you like me to buy it? And I'll say, yeah, buy the book and send Pierre a note. It's just extended RAM on all of our interactions. And that extended RAM, magic happens next. So Joe says, hey, Roy, I see you just joined XYZ Corp. Would you like me to opt in? And I'll say, yeah, please opt in. Joe says, great. You and Wayne love snowboarding. You and Bob love this. You and Susie are from Brooklyn. Starts connecting the dots. And I say, hey, Joe, I just talked to a guy in e-commerce marketplaces. Do we have anyone who knows anything about that? Joe says, of course. Yeah, Jim in the Cincinnati office, who you don't know, worked at eBay for 10 years. Actually, his wife works there and it's retroactive. So Joe's going to opt into all my alma maters and my high school or whatever. Joe is going to spontaneously, without me prompting, say, hey, by the way, a fellow alum just posted a job that's perfect for you. I wasn't looking for a job. I don't know the alum, but I have an agent who's out there on my behalf. And by the way, I tell this story to folks and they go, oh, that's a privacy nightmare. And I say, no, it's a privacy enhancement. And they say, tell me how many privacy policies you've read end to end. I know we are all relying on the same thing. Some psycho reading all the privacy policies and raising a big stink about something that's bad. And hopefully it'll cross our radar. Joe reads them all for me. As I'm signing up to a new service, Joe says, hey, Clause 6, Section C, are you sure? PayPal sends me an update to their privacy policy. And Joe says, hey, this is what they changed. Are you good with that? I get to have a conversation about my privacy. Hey, Joe, don't share my kids' names. Don't share my health. If I don't ask the right question, Joe says, hey, what about this? What about that? It's going to be unbelievable. The value unlocked from that is going to be off the charts. And I tell people, you got to start now because we are on an exponential curve. And 2022, we entered the elbow. And as we start to go vertical, things are going to get wild and really fast. And that's just the commercial stuff. Frankly, if you follow me on LinkedIn, I'd say 80% of my posts are science because the science is just nuts at the moment. It's just incredible what we're doing on the science side. But that doesn't pay the bills. It pays the bills for some people, but not. I'll leave it there. I think that was about time. I'm happy to share my custom instructions with all of you. Just reach out and I'll send it to you.
Unlock the full potential of networking with the World Referral Network.
Are you eager to connect with our esteemed guest speaker and delve deeper into the ever-expanding universe of the World Referral Network? Simply scan the QR code now and embark on a journey of endless opportunities. Join us at East Trade Wins, where we gather online every Tuesday from 8 to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, you're welcome to connect with us and other chapters across the World Referral Network. Seize the moment, register for free, and start exploring today. Fancy sharing your insights as a guest speaker? We're looking for you. Reach out to Wayne Pratt to ignite your speaking journey. Email him at motivateyou.ca or connect with Wayne on LinkedIn. Don't wait, take action, and be a part of a global community that's shaping the future of business networking.